I'm here at the circuit of Anglesey to experience scooter racing. Now personally, I've never really been a big fan of scooters, but watching some of these hybrid machines go around the circuit, these boys are taking it seriously. Norrie, what is your fascination with scooters?
Basically, I needed transport in the 60s, and I got involved with them, and I've stayed with them ever since. It's as simple as that.
Did you get involved in the mod frenzy that was happening then as well?
Very much, yes. In fact, all the mirrors on the front of the bike, the mink tail, etc. Of course, when I tried to join the Vespa Club of Glasgow, I was refused entry until I got rid of the mirrors. A very Puritan crowd, honestly.
Now, what specifically about the scooters made you pick scooters rather than, say, bikes? I think a lot of guys kind of went for bikes.
I think simplicity. They looked easy to work on, and they are easy to work on. And I think even now young people get involved with them because they're easy to, they're handy. You can pull them around, you can do this, you can take bits off. I think there's an infection about them. I think people do like scooters.
Why do guys race scooters? I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've got very small wheels, they're quite light. I mean, I can't imagine the handling's particularly that brilliant. So what is it about that they do?
It's the challenge. It's the challenge of making them work and getting around the circuits, breaking the lap records, etc.
And the actual sort of classes of the scooters, is it quite a broad sort of spectrum?
Yes, in essence there are two groups. There are standards and specials. Standards, it looks a standard bike, maybe painted, etc. The engine tuning, there are fairly strict parameters, and on the specials you can, as long as the frame's there and parts of the engine are there, you can really exploit that and develop something that will do over 110 miles an hour. So you can really move on them, and we also race sidecars as well.
Well, here we are. Norrie's very kindly lent me his scooter. He must be mad. Lovely colour system, lovely colour scheme. Norrie, where's the key, mate? Here we go. See you later. Technique to riding these, Norrie?
It is different from a motorcycle, there's no doubt about it, and I think after you've had a few years experience of knowledge of tracks, it's then the ability to ride the bike comes into it. So your knowledge of tracks is one thing, but the ability to ride the bike and be at one with the bike is very important.
Norrie, that's the most bizarre experience I've had, I think, ever. This thing is it's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, it's quite quick. I'm glad you've enjoyed yourself.
The braking, I had a bit of a panic the first time.
What braking?
What braking? There's nothing on there.
That's why I went well. Nobody knew I had no brakes. But the brakes are there. Mostly engine braking is important. You did that very well, apart from one section you said about.
Is there anything you've seen that I can improve on?
Yeah, what we talked about earlier, the one cheek on, one cheek off. Move around a bit, get a bit flexible, back and forth, just pick up on these loose little bits and you should be fine for the race.
Anthony, it's your absolute first race. Yeah. How do you feel about it?
I'm dead excited. I can't wait to get on there. I'm totally buzzing. I haven't been able to sleep for days. I haven't ridden this before, and so don't know what it handles like. It's a bit dodgy around the corners, but I should be able to get on with it all right if ever I'm in the season.
Now Martin, it's my first kind of attempt at scooter racing. Are there any sort of tips that you can give me, sort of make my life a little easier?
If you're going to ride an auto on the starting lineup, position yourself right over the front of the bike, nail the throttle, because these do wheelie.
Well, I've had my practice. It's the first race on scooters, very exciting and very nerve-wracking. Let's get on with it. It's usual in any racing to have a warm-up lap, This is to get some heat in the tyres, perhaps to settle pre-race nerves. As the riders were released, for some reason I got a little bit too enthusiastic. Being slightly annoyed with myself, I regained composure, picked up my pride and rejoined the pack, hoping that no one had noticed. This time I did get a clean start. Although this was my first scooter race, I was surprised how fast the other guys were going. They really get the most out of their machines, and I was quickly lapped. The strange thing for me about riding a scooter is you sit on it, almost perched. I didn't really feel part of it, but I'm sure with time you gain confidence and become more familiar with this riding position. Being my first outing, I couldn't really compete. I was frustrated and I pushed it a bit too hard, and inevitably I came a cropper, which sadly ended my race and left me sitting it out till the checkered flag.
Because you fell off, you've got to report to the medical centre.
Yeah, the guy just told me that. No sweat.
Okay.
All right, thanks, mate.